The way life taught me things I never asked to learn. There wasn't a lesson plan, no gentle teacher, no chalkboard with clear instructions. But I remember the nights that stretched longer than they should have, and the mornings that came without comfort. I didn't choose the hard moments, but they came anyway. The heartbreaks, the uncertainty, the moments where I felt small, unheard, unready. And somewhere in the ache of it all, life began to teach me. Not with kindness, always. Sometimes it taught through silence, when no one texted back. Sometimes through loss, when something I counted on fell apart. Sometimes through disappointment, when I didn't get what I thought I deserved. But also, life taught me how to stay, how to breathe when my chest was tight, how to soften when I wanted to shut down, how to keep going, even when nothing made sense. No diploma marked these moments. No applause followed. Just quiet growth, the kind that sneaks up on you. And maybe that's how life really teaches us. Not all at once, not in easy chapters, but through the ordinary unfolding of pain and persistence. If you're wondering what you've learned lately, try this. Look not at your wins, but at your staying power. Not what you've achieved, but what you've endured. That's also wisdom. That's also strength.
Life always has lessons to teach. There wasn't a teacher waiting at the front of the classroom. No syllabus, no tests, no clear instructions. But I remember the moments when life itself became my greatest teacher, through pain, joy, loss, and unexpected grace. Life doesn't hand out lessons on neat schedules. It teaches quietly, sometimes harshly, often when we least expect it. A heartbreak that cracks open your heart, a failure that humbles your pride, a moment of kindness that restores your faith. Each experience folds into the next, shaping who we become. I used to wish for a roadmap, for signs that could guide me without stumbling. But I've learned that the beauty is in the learning itself, the slow, sometimes painful unfolding of wisdom that comes from living fully. Life's lessons aren't always easy, but they are always there, waiting to be noticed. And maybe that's the real teaching, that growth isn't a destination, but a journey marked by constant discovery. The courage isn't in knowing all the answers, but in staying open to what life shows us next. So if you're feeling lost or confused today, remember this: life is still teaching you. Keep listening, keep learning, and trust that every moment has something to offer. The quietest moment in my life. No grand silence following a storm, no moment frozen in time. But I remember that one evening, the stillness that settled deep inside me after a long day filled with noise, chaos, and rushing thoughts. I sat alone on my small balcony, watching the city lights flicker in the distance. The hum of traffic softened, and the sky darkened into a velvet blue. In that gentle quiet, my breath slowed, and my mind, usually racing, began to rest. It wasn't the absence of sound that made it profound, but the feeling of peace washing over me, a rare pause where nothing needed to be fixed or chased. The weight of worries, plans, and endless to-dos simply lifted, if only for a moment. We live in a world that prizes hustle and noise, yet sometimes the greatest gift is found in stillness. In those calm spaces, we reconnect with ourselves and the rhythm of life beneath the surface. If you're searching for peace today, remember, it might not come with fanfare. Sometimes it comes softly, a quiet moment when your soul finally breathes. The day a small kindness saved me. There wasn't a grand rescue or a sweeping gesture. No one shouted my name or pulled me from the edge. But I remember a day when the weight of the world felt too heavy, when everything seemed gray and the noise in my head wouldn't stop. I was walking down a crowded street, lost in my thoughts, barely noticing the faces around me. Then a stranger smiled and held the door open. It was such a simple act, almost invisible, but it stopped me in my tracks. For a moment, I felt seen. A small kindness broke through my fog of despair and reminded me I wasn't alone. That tiny spark was enough to lift me, just enough to take a breath and keep going. We often underestimate the power of small gestures, the brief smile, the helping hand, the kind word. Yet those moments can mean everything when life feels like too much. If you're struggling today, know this: even the smallest kindness, whether given or received, can be a lifeline. And sometimes that's all it takes to find your way back to hope.